Hi everyone, welcome back to We Students. Today we're here with Aki and Boyan, and they just released a movie, so they're gonna show us the process behind it.
So can you introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your background?
Of course. Okay, I'm Andrej Naskov. I am the producer of short film Forever.
Hello, I'm Bojan Vasilev. I'm the director of Forever.
I am currently studying at Nova. I am fourth year of high school and I'm 18 years old.
I'm 19. I study at Dimitrov in high schools.
So, how did you guys get into filmmaking, and was it a passion of yours, or just something that came up as an idea?
How I got into filmmaking? I mean, I was fascinated by film as a medium as a little child. So I remember this one time when I was like very little, and I think I saw this film by Michael Haneke was called Amor, and it's this like 2 hour long film. It's about old people and stuff. And
So interesting about old people.
yeah, it was weird. It was like this. There's like a wife and a husband living in a old. Well, it was not an old house, but it was a big apartment. So, and the wife has a stroke. The husband has to take care of her. And that film is it's sad, but it's also very disturbing. I would say it's exploration of love and aging and stuff. But I was definitely too young to see that film. And I just remember when the film just finished, I was traumatized, but I was so fascinated by it. So, and up until that point, I that's the first time where I went like, wow, like films have a huge impact. So, and I just started going from.
Well, for me, film, I've always been around film since a young age because my dad is a film producer as well. And so I've been in and around the industry since I was like 6. So I've had a bit of like a full grasp of film behind the scenes during the process and during the premiere and everything. And I've always wanted to be a part of a movie, like one of the, so to say, important roles from the start to the finish. And I just didn't think that it would happen so early in my life, and I'm very grateful.
Was this was this both of you guys' first movies, or have you had experience before?
It's my first official movie.
This one is also official.
Official, yes. It's my first movie like I've been a part of. It's his like third.
Fourth, yeah.
Fourth.
I've done a couple of unofficial shorts that were just like for me for maybe for a couple of festivals, but nothing official like this. So it's our first official film.
So speaking of the short film, can you give us a quick overview of Forever?
With no spoilers.
We're trying our best.
Forever is a short film that sees Eva, who is a 17-year-old girl who is tackling the consequences of a decision of a mistake she made.
Why did you choose this particular topic?
When I was coming up with the idea, it was something that I have a younger sister, so and sometimes we speak a lot about teen girls, other teenager girls are experiencing and having problems, and high school as experience that it's for some girls it's pretty traumatic and stuff. So I was really inspired by stories like that. And why we chose this topic is because it's something that happens very commonly here in Macedonia. So, and I thought that would be very fitting to kind of get into this and explore this and maybe start a really important discussion for all of us.
So let's talk about the process. How did you guys start writing, and was it like collaborative, or was it just one person writing?
Boyan came to me with the idea. We've always talked about collaborating on a movie, and when he fully developed the idea for this film, he came to me. I was like, okay, sick, we're doing it. And the first like meeting, so to say, he came to my house. We did a little bit of storyboarding, like how do you want to shoot it, what the lines would be, the script, everything.
We had like little papers on his floor,
Yeah.
and we were just doing the structure of the story, which eventually ended up being the actual structure that we wrote later on. But we just on the floor just put all of the scenes and just a little description of what happens. And
Yeah. And afterwards, he started writing the script. Um, this was
it was a long
2024, like winter time. Afterwards, it came summer, and Boyan called me and was like, "We got accepted to a program to develop the script, the movie called Educats." And I was like, "Okay, this is happening." And we went to the program. We got great feedback on the story from Oscar-nominated directors. And then our film got chosen from, was it 15?
yeah, something like that. Which was
15
pretty
movies.
crazy.
Our film got chosen to get backed by the program, and we shot the film in November of
What
the same
was,
year. And
what was the process like when you applied to the program? Because I didn't know you had to apply to a program.
I think it was. I didn't mention it to Aki. Obviously, I just originally it was my dad who saw that on TV because I don't watch TV, and he goes, "I saw this TV. It's a it's a program that supports short films for everyone." I was like, "Whatever. I'm just like send it to me." And I opened the platform and it said Educats whatever, and I applied, and I was thinking about which screenplay should I apply because I have a couple of others. So it's like, so maybe I should just apply for it. And I applied, and I didn't really thought about it a lot. I just wrote the synopsis, whatever, just submitted it, and that was it. And then it was, I think it was a month or so or two, and I get a call from Darko, which is
yeah,
which is the guy who does the platform. He goes, your film is selected, so now we proceed with this. And then I immediately go call Lucky. I'm like, dude, so this is something, I guess. So let's work on this, and that's
so everything kind of happened like full paced.
yeah.
Like, we didn't mean for it to happen, but
No, not at all.
like so fast, but it happened. And
I mean, we're gonna eventually shoot the film somehow, but this just somehow came into the at the right time in the right place, and it just happened for us.
So what about the casting? How did the procedure go? Was it friends? Was it some people you didn't know?
so me and Boyan posted on Instagram like a casting call for anyone to send us an email and submit like headshots and introduce themselves. We got a lot of like submissions with
Yeah,
10
Were you
something.
surprised?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not really because we generated a lot of buzz because we posted on our stories and we sent it to some friends, so they posted it on their story and stuff.
What we did not expect was like professional actresses to come to audition.
Really?
Yeah, because um, Buen is more like within the scene and he knows some of them and he talked to select actresses to come and audition and try out. But the one that eventually got the role, Mia Jiro, we did not know her. She saw it on, I guess, your story,
Mhm.
and she applied. She sent like 2 emails just to be sure.
Yeah. She goes like, "Have you guys received my emails or whatever?" I'm like, "Yeah, we have it. We'll reach out to you if you."
Yeah. And then she came to our office. I think she was like fourth in a row. And I just remember like we had a discussion with her, like what she thinks of the script, the character, everything. And when she did her audition, Gwen wrote like Eva with 3 exclamation marks.
I can send you guys a picture. I have that.
Yeah, so
With the note I had.
then we knew that we had the role we wanted.
And when you guys interviewed them, like, how did that go? Like the interview, what did you do in the interview?
So upon like doing the initial casting, me and Aki, we sat down and we wrote a series of questions. And then I think we did some psychological ones, some like journal ones, and
For
then
example, I'm really interested. I'm so
yeah,
invested.
I can look it up if you want. It's in notes. I think it was something more like I'll just look it up right now because it
Um,
was it was specific. It was questions
it was
like
really specific to the
yeah.
Script.
to the script. Yeah.
Yeah, they are obviously related. So
Did you do like different auditions for different roles, or did you get everyone and then
You
chose?
know, we got like 10 or 11 girls came, and we both discussed who would be Eva, who would be her friend Leona, and a week after we called back uh,
yeah,
four girls um, to actually like know that we made the right choice. And then we casted Mia Giro as Eva and Talia Harlamfiev as Leona.
And what stood out in Mia that like you instantly knew that she was Eva?
yeah. With me, I mean, she has this. I just got the questions here from the casting. I with her, it's very specific. I've seen her in a couple of other films in Sisterhood and the ones where I remember. But she's an actress and she's she has played in a lot of films. Initially with her she has this almost like sentimentality where the drama is happening inside of her, but sometimes she can explode. It's like a dark force that has just burst right out of her, and I saw a little bit of that in the two emails she sent us because yeah, so it's yeah it's a small thing, but I think it's for most people like they'll just send us one message and they'll be like, well, this is me. Hope everything goes well. But with Mia, she sends an email and then she sends another one. Right. So with her, she's very quiet. The drama is happening inside of her, but she moments she has those moments of like something like a force doing it. So and just by the way she looks, I think it was which really sparked me because I was imagined Eva as being this like with dark hair.
Before the casting process, we had like an idea of what we wanted Eva to like, show us, to sound and look like, but um, the casting process showed us a few options, but Mia gave us like the exact thing that we wanted and didn't think we needed,
Exactly.
but we got it from her, and we're really happy with the whole process.
Wait, let him read out the question.
Uh, okay, well, let me see. They're in Macedonia, so I'll need to translate them.
You can say them in Macedonian. We can put a translation.
Okay, okay. Let's see. So, yeah, for an example, we have a question: romantic relationships. So they'll we will talk about them, and of course, we don't we're not like pushy, like tell us more. So as long as they're comfortable, we're comfortable too discussing that. And we also have other personal questions such as social status, how many friend groups do you have, and so yeah, we've seen different kind of reactions from different kind of people, but that's important to us, right? So just so we're on the same page with actor, yeah. So we've also did this thing where we will give scenes to act to the actors. So
How is that not awkward?
I want to say something.
yeah.
So
Say it.
I can give advice to actors and actresses and people who want to try and get into the acting world. We had a few instances where we asked them firstly to improvise a scene, and they're going to ask that in every casting process, and they did not act it out. They just told us what they would do, and instantly we thought, okay, this is not happening. So if you ever want to try out a role for a movie, just try and do what the casting director asks of you, because you'll show a lot of passion. Maybe you'll not succeed in their eyes, but you tried out, and maybe another time you will get the role. So it's a whole process.
You'll get recommended and stuff because
Yeah.
it's for an example, Leona, the girl, the second, the girl who plays Eva's best friend. She's an actor, but she hasn't acted in movies before. So this was kind of her first time. So um, sometimes it's you don't have to be an actor to get the part.
Exactly.
Sometimes you can just be a naturalist. That's what they call them, and
Yeah.
naturalists can give you a very unique energy to your film. So it's sometimes just during the process of, during the casting process, as Zaki said, just don't try to say what we do. So some of the questions, some of the scenes that we gave to the actors to act is, I'll just translate it right now. Your parents are divorced. You just had a really bad argument with your mother. You want to go at your father's place, but your mom says, if you go at his place, I'll kill myself. And that's it. And we give them a minute or two, and we see how they react.
What are some challenges that you had faced during filming, and how did you overcome these?
Sadly, the options you get during filming are based on the budget you have. So I remember me and Boyan were sending we sent like 30 emails to different companies to get funding.
No
for the film.
reply.
We sent emails, we didn't get a reply in a single email, and Boyan then sent an Instagram message to the owner,
Yeah.
owner of Soloprom, which eventually became our sponsor. And with some funding from me and Boyan, we had a budget for the film, and we I would say that one challenge was the locations, because the location where we essentially the Eva's apartment, the living room and her bedroom are different places, and the terrace as well. So we had to move around it to not try and indicate that these are two different locations. But I think we did a good job.
Yeah, that was, and also during the actual shoot. I mean, for me especially, was very hard. I mean, in the film, they're pretty intense scenes, right? And that's how Aki did it in the first day of shooting. We put all of the emotional intense scenes into the one day, and I just ended up on that first shooting day. I was just so exhausted because it's a lot. I mean, at the moment you're just going with the actors and you try to do your thing. You try to do the shot. You try to get a take. Talking with them so they don't get frustrated as well. Yeah, it was really it was a crazy experience, but we did it anyway.
I can say I got very frustrated when we came.
We had to do the
Oh, the
sit-ups.
crunches, yes. Oh my god, my stomach still hurts from that.
But you did them, right?
Yes.
Okay. But the thing is,
Everyone did them.
I
but
couldn't move for 2 weeks after that. I couldn't
Exactly.
get out
Really?
of bed without my
Instead of going to gym, you could go to
you
movies.
should guys start working out more. But I think no, no. Obviously, didn't mean that way. But
What way did you mean it?
No, but
Cut it off.
no, but it's good. Like for me, I see like I haven't like went to the gym for like months or whatever, and I like last night I tried like running for a bus. And I just get it. I'm like breathing heavily, and I just run for like 20 minutes or something.
No, when you
Yeah.
told us to do the crunches, I knew that I wouldn't be able to do many. So I tried purposefully to go towards the end of the line, and then you told me, you're first. And I was right next to the camera. I was struggling. I was trying not to like make any sounds or shake so that it's not visible. I was so scared. It was
Oh.
so stressful.
Let's tell the camera what the scene was. It was like something like in a gym.
Yeah, in
Am
school
I allowed
gym.
to say that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
a school gym. We're supposed to be like exercising.
Yeah.
The first scene was okay because it wasn't like that
Yeah,
challenging.
just small movements.
Then they make us all lay down in a line. The camera is right here, and we're doing crutches for like 20 takes. I don't know, it was so bad.
And I keep on going like, that was good. Let's do another one.
Yeah, this one is good, but let's try again, maybe better. No.
It ended up looking really good.
Yeah, it was worth it, right? And I remember because I was holding the camera like particularly that shoot because
Yeah.
I wanted to be like really specific. How I imagine. I remember getting so close.
Yeah, I hit
At
the
some point, I
camera.
think I almost hit you, right?
I hit the camera a couple of times.
Yeah.
So we had to redo it.
So then I just like try to push it and I go a little back. But I think it was worth it because there are a lot of comments about that scene where like that scene in particular made them feel like physically like sick, like in their stomach because it's an intense scene in the context of the story.
It is an intense scene.
I really liked the scene because it conveyed like the kind of difficulties that she was having because she was the only like odd one out. Everyone was wearing white shirts and then she was very specific to what she was wearing.
Yeah.
And it really showed how like the struggles that she has.
I'm the host now. So you both were extras on the film.
Okay, if you wanna put it like that. We were extras, whatever.
You came to the scenes and you saw a bit of what the filmmaking process looks like with shooting and everything. How did you feel?
I felt
What
so
did you think of
famous.
it? You felt so
I felt
famous.
so famous. It was so nice. It was really fun. And also because we got to hang out, so because we all came like as a friend group, 3 or 4 of us. So it was really fun. And also it was kind of I've always thought it's really annoying when celebrities talk about how hard their life is because of filming and everything. And then I really saw, especially for you guys, because for us we just had to stretch and do whatever. But I saw how hard it is and how stressful it is, to get the acting part right, how you envision it, especially with the teacher. And also the technical side, so the camera, the sound. It was really interesting to see you guys redo the takes when we thought it was perfect, but you guys had your own vision in mind and you kept trying to go for it.
Yeah, you know why? When did a few more takes, even though we knew we had a good take, because it's important to have material. Because in post production, you'll regret it. You need to have like a few options. We had like for each scene, we had like maybe from 10 to 15 like takes, options, everything. And sometimes you'll decide to cut from one take to another when you get a few better options at a certain point of the take. That might happen during the post production process, during editing. So it's important to have material.
Yeah, we did a couple of takes, but with this film specifically, I knew how it was going to be edited, and I know every shot. So we didn't do the classical like shooting where we have the wide shot. Now we get the close ups, and that we just I had the shots in mind. So, but I wanted to do a couple of more takes, which actually ended up. We would do a take, and I'll just talk to my script supervisor. I'll go. That was the take. So let's do one more because this wasn't. I'm a professional, so I go like, yeah, this wasn't good. Maybe whatever. We do another take. Let's do another one. Yeah, but actually, like almost 99% of the time, I think when I was editing the film, it ended up being using that take that I did after thinking I had the take. So. I try not to go crazy. Just
you shouldn't do too much, but you should do enough.
Yeah.
Well, relating to this, what were like what did you do behind the scenes, like the technical stuff? How did you edit? How long it took to edit? The camera work, everything.
The sound as well.
That was because I was also me and my dad were the directors of photography also. We had a long process of discussing how we're gonna actually shoot the film. So do we just shoot it as a something classical, something more? Is the camera shaking? Is it not? Is it on a tripod? Is it zoomed? Is it zoomed out? The aspect ratio, the coloring of the film, the editing. So it's all of these different things. But eventually, I came up with this style that I call hybrid, which is something in between a documentary and something like a more classical film because I like slow paced films where the camera takes its time to move around and the camera is kind of like far and you see the scene play out right right in front of you. So we kind of did a mix between those two, but eventually the style we were going for was a documentary style. So we wanted to eliminate the film manipulation or whatever, where there's music. It's there are 500 takes just in the scene, so we just really wanted long takes. The longer, the better. So
Yes,
we
because it makes it look more realistic.
yeah,
And
it
the
makes
whole
it look
point
like
is,
a documentary. It makes it look like this is running in real time, and that was the whole point.
And
And
we're catching it in the moment.
yeah.
With everything
exactly,
that's
so we
happening.
almost wanted to the camera work to feel like it's we just paid two people to go into this random apartment and shoot this people.
See, that always happens. Not always, but like
Naturally would
happens.
happen.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's how we approach the camera work. And then the editing, we also was kind of this similar. I mean, the editing is not that crazy. It's just the the takes put together because
How long
there's.
did it take you?
I mean, I for films it's because I also work commercially, and sometimes when you do commercial work, the client the client wants it as faster as soon as it's possible. So maybe if we do the shooting today and they're like, "Can I have it by tomorrow?" I'm like, "No, like that's impossible." It's and then you do it as fast as you can. But with film specifically, I think you need to take time off, right? So right after shooting, I went to Milano, and then came back, and I promised myself I wouldn't take any of the materials with myself because I would want to start editing. And I'm like, no, I'm going on trip in Milan, whatever. I come back and then I started organizing the takes because when you get into the production process, all you have is files, right? So it's video files and audio files. Then it was just organizing, revisiting back the screenplay, looking at other films. So it's not just about it's about an inspiration, like how the time goes, right? And then I come back, started editing something. Like I would just edit a scene. I'll go back. For me specifically, I get really depressed when I see just the raw footage. So there's no color grading, no sound design, no fully nothing. So it's just the raw video files, and I get really depressed. So that's why for this film I tried like as I'm editing, I do a temporary color grade with sound design, right? So it's so I can see the film before the that stage is finished. So that's how I did it. But there were times where I would take a time off, like I wouldn't open the project for like a week or two or three sometimes.
I wanted to ask, you said that you worked like alongside your dad for some of the parts. Since both of your fathers are in the industry, were you guys kind of under stress or pressure to make them like the project as well and kind of make sure you don't in a way disappoint them with the end result?
I mean, that's a good question. I think it's because I don't think we really had time to think about that. It was really about we wanted to do something great, and it's you of course along the process you have that little voice in your head. We're actually doing the right thing, or is this just going to be something, or is this going to be a disaster? And you go, no, 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 let's just keep working. So let's see what we're gonna do. But yeah, eventually the goal is to first to make ourselves proud because it's a film we planned for a long time. But then I think for me I didn't have time to think about that. I'm not sure for Rocky.
Yeah, same. Because I just remember one time, like after Brian called me that we're going to shoot the movie, I told my dad, okay, I'm making a movie, haha, and everything just kind of happened. I mean, we got like the help. For example, Brian's dad was also part of the. He was director of photography. My dad gave me some advice because he's a producer as well. Um,
But
I
that's
want to say
about
something
it.
funny.
Yeah.
When I was younger, when everyone would ask me what I wanted to do with grow up, like the typical question, uh, I didn't know what to say, so I would say, "Oh, I would be a film director." because that's closer to my dad's job. I will never be a professor like my mom, and everything just kind of moved.
Your mom's gonna watch this, you know.
She knows. She knows. I told her this many times. And then when I started thinking about it, I was telling my dad, okay, I know I told you that a producer's job is not a good job because it has a lot of math in it, but I when
Math?
yeah, like the budget and everything.
Oh,
You
okay.
just have to calculate everything.
Yeah.
So
I for an upcoming movie, I with my dad I went to set. I was a production assistant for the day, and I saw like everything behind the camera, but not the creative side of it, like more of the organizational side of it. I was like, okay, I this is my territory. This is where I'll shine. So hence why I'm the producer of this film, and I mean, of course, I wanted to make my dad proud, just to see. I think that, I mean, my dad will, of course, say that no matter what I do, I'm gonna make him proud. But I think that because this is like his job, his like profession specifically, I think that he was really happy to see me like in his element. And so yeah, it was overall very fun, very rewarding.
yeah, but it's also very stressful. I mean, I
Very
was
stressful.
Andre was the producer, but I was the co-producer of this short because
Yeah.
we did some work there, and oh my god, I'm not doing that again. But it was we had to because it's an independent film, so you have to get as much as people, you know, try to do something good. So
I think we did. We had a very good plan. Like we kind of, me and Boyan were like everything in the film. Him more than me. Um, but during filming, we kind of separated. He was like he only focused on the creative side of it and a bit of the technical stuff. I was everything behind the scenes. Everything
so
that
we
needed to
didn't
be
see
done.
each other for 4 days.
Not like that. But
The microphone from Tebu.
where was I? Um, with him like being a producer as well, and me being part of the some of the creative process, we kind of delve into each other's like roles, so to say. But um, uh, it was most important for the director to be focused on the story alone of how it needs to look, and work with the actors as well to get the uh, everything they wanted from them, get the emotion, get the reaction, and everything. And I just I was dealing with the
The
crew,
sound guy.
everything, yeah, the sound guy especially. Do not get him in any other films, please.
So we're just...
Shout out to Proiko.
And where is he now?
In New York Film Academy.
And what is
Florence.
he doing? And what is he doing?
Everything.
He's studying filmmaking, right?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
3 months.
Yeah, but no, we
Yeah.
both of us, it was
We are proud of Proiko, by the way. I
proud
just
of
wanted to
Proiko.
say that.
And the work we did. I mean, especially Andre, for there are a lot of times where it's you just don't think about it, right? So you go with the we're shooting that, whatever, and then and then you run into this problem, like, but how are the actors gonna get to set, right? So we didn't thought about that, and thank God for Andre, he was there and he organized a car to pick the actors and bring them to set, which is
Transport.
transport, exactly. So that's something that you don't think about. So that's why there are people like who work as producers who take care of that. So it was really good. Thank you, man. Yeah.
Well, I imagine you guys like kind of planned, as you said, planned all the scenes beforehand. But were there any scenes that like seemed good in theory, but then when you guys filmed them, they didn't like make the final cut, like they just weren't good?
Yes and no. Because we stick to our schedule as planned. We shot for 4 days. I think we had like 4 or 3 scenes per day. we had to allocate like every time, like this is a day scene, so we're shooting from now till then, and then during the night.
Wait, how much? Sorry to interrupt. How long did it take you to film everything?
4 days. We
The whole movie in 4 days?
Exactly.
yeah
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so.
yeah every like every day we woke up at like maybe 8 at set at in 9 at 9,
Start at 10.
start at like 10, finish at 10. Most film
Oh,
days
by
are
the way,
12
I'm
hours
playing
long.
grabbing to film a podcast
Yeah.
More
for
or
2
less.
hours.
Yeah,
More or
and
less it's like that.
if you do a feature film, it's usually you wake up at 5 or 6 and you start
Yeah,
at 7, 8.
there was one day where we woke up at 5 and we're at set at 6.
So that was the day
Yeah.
where we shot
Yeah,
gym
the
scene.
gym scene.
Oh, but what was it? What was your question again? Oh, some scenes that didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
I think no. With this, the the thing with like having cutting out scenes, I think that's more common for feature films because you have a lot of scenes, and sometimes you feel lost as a director. You feel lost scenes. It's good. It's you do the, you shoot it, and then in post you see the scene and you see the scene and
It happens.
It just doesn't work. And it just you get it out there. But with this short, I don't think we had any scenes that were removed. I was thinking removing. I was thinking about removing one scene.
Yeah, we were. He thought about removing one scene, but we ended up not removing it.
Yeah.
But there were some scenes like where the timing of each scene was maybe like a minute, and we cut it in the middle, like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's something that happens during editing. But again,
Just to keep the tempo going. Yeah.
yeah, because sometimes like when we saw like the movie, like the rough draft we had, it was like here we were losing like a bit of emotion. The tempo is flowing, not flowing as we want to. So we made some tough calls, but I think in the end they were the right calls.
I feel like you guys planned it really well since you didn't like have to ditch any scenes. I feel like that shows that the organization, the planning was all.
But you have to do that on independent films, right? Because you cannot afford to shoot a scene that you're gonna eventually end up cutting out because you're wasting time. So it's all about planning and being really precise.
Since the next question is about the screening and reception, is there anything else you want to mention from the production process? Something you struggled with, something you found easier than expected, anything?
Let me think.
What do you think? Can I'll just go ahead.
Nah.
For in the first day, I came to the set. It's like I was very relaxed. I had my coffee. I had my scarf. Each other is making fun of me. I have my scarf around me, and I come to set. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna shoot this film. So yeah, we're just doing this. And the funny thing is, we actually the first scene that we actually shot was the fourth scene in the screenplay. So it's all mixed up, but
Yeah.
doesn't matter. And then we start shooting, and I'm like, and we finish shooting the fourth scene. I'm happy with the takes. I'm like, this is so cool. This is so cool. And then we shoot the next scene that we shoot is it actually happens to be the last scene of the film, which is emotional. It's big. And then we do the scene. I'm like, okay, so this is getting kind of intense. I guess that's about it. Then we do a break. And we shoot the third scene for people who have seen the film. They know this what the scene is. Crazy scene, big scene, and we do the takes.
For the 13,
Yeah,
we shot 2 days.
What's it?
The argument.
Ah,
Yeah.
got into this one.
I'll cut it out.
Please.
We planned to shoot it during the first day. We got a few takes, but we were on at the same location the day after, and Boyan was like, "Please let me shoot a few more scenes." I was like, okay.
Shut up. But it was so intense. I mean, that scene was particularly really intense for me because it was the actors were for me they weren't acting. They were just going with it because it's emotions. It's somehow it glows and it's if you're like because we were in a room. The room was a living room, but it wasn't huge or anything. So it was very intimate. It was very here. And oh my god! After that day, when I went home, I was so exhausted. I mean, I couldn't feel my body. It was crazy. But yeah,
Yeah.
so that was crazy.
One thing I would like to mention is, I mean, of course, it's very stressful. Each day of filming is stressful. You're gonna make some mistakes, but it's important to have the skills to fix it at the given time. And we were lucky enough to, uh, I would say, assemble a very good crew behind the scenes, as well as um, the actors, the casting, everything. I remember one call I had after shooting with Isabella Novotny, who played the mother. She's a very experienced actress. She's in theater now, but she's played in various movies. And I remember I called her. I don't know. I think it was about like a party we were organizing, like to celebrate the ending of shooting the film. And I was asking her if she's available then, so she can come, because I know she's very busy with theater. And she told me that she was very grateful that she got the part, that she was a part of the process, because in a long time she didn't feel like she had a family on set, and
That's so sweet.
that touched me uh, really much. Touched me really much.
You're getting touchy here.
Touchy. What do I say?
No, that was great. Yeah, that was
No.
great.
It was touching because it assured me that me and Gwen
Did your job.
did the right thing. We did our job right, and we made the right decisions.
We with Isabel we met 2 years ago. We spoke. We had dinner at Forza. Forza, please sponsor us, please. Next film.
Next podcast.
Next podcast, please.
And film.
Yeah, we spoke there, and that's I got we exchanged phone numbers, and that was about it. We I think we forgot about each other, and then just we went with our life. But all that time, I had her in the back of my mind. It's like thinking about her because she I think for me initially, and I told her this, she looks like what was Toni Collette. You guys know the Australian actress. She plays in Hereditary. Let's just draw a picture. I think she looks like Toni Collette. Anyway, she has this specific, and then I thought about it, and initially when we got the idea with Andrej we're gonna shoot the film, I was like, okay, she'll play the mother, and she looks like a mother.
Very sweet person.
Exactly, so
Very
sweet.
nice.
So that's why I was very nervous, like initially approaching her with the screenplay. The microphones from Tim.
No, here it's working.
Let's do that.
Okay, so obviously you guys had fun filming it, but also
Yeah.
faced like difficulties. But how did it feel when you like finally saw it on the big screen, like saw Foreva on the big screen?
For me, it felt like a celebration. We put a lot of work into it. It meant a lot to us, and the premiere felt like a celebration because we invited a lot of people that mean to us, family, friends, colleagues as well. And afterwards, we got a lot of positive feedback, not only uh, for the movie, but the way me and Brian like approached everything, our speeches afterwards, the premiere, like the organization, everything, and it was really, I was really glad. It felt really nice.
What about you?
It was intense. Oh my god! I remember it was the premiere. The actual screening was at 8, and
Yeah.
I arrived in Lucas earlier, obviously, just to test things out. But I remember it was 7:40. There were like few people there, and
Oh
like
my
in
God.
5 minutes, it was
2
like
minutes, everyone showed up.
everyone showed up, and it was such a for me it was overwhelming because I was trying to greet everyone, like obviously, and all of the people that I've invited, but generally like, people came in, and I was just like everywhere, and everyone was greeting, giving you gifts. Friend groups calling you, they're like, "Dude, can I just speak with you for like a few months?" I'm like, "No, I just need to work on it." I guess it was really intense, and everyone got into the theater, and when everyone said the film started, it felt unreal almost. It's like all of these people that came, like, and there were a couple of film directors that I that I really admired, like Maria, just kind of what I told you, obviously. And it was such a surreal experience, and the film started, and the first scene started playing out, and I just remember sitting there because I was in the first row. Just the screen was really big, so I was like almost like looking up like this. And then I remember at one point I just turned around to see like the other people because maybe this is weird, but I really like staring at people while they're watching films. It's so fascinating.
See what
to
they
me.
think.
Exactly,
What they feel.
but no, it's like I was in Cineplex this one time, and this thing is like the scene is playing, and I just like subtly like look behind me, and and you see all of these like
Reaction.
different people with different lives who happen to be at this moment together, sitting
Oh,
right
that's
next
what
to
you
each
said
other.
today.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
explained that about music festivals. How I love
Yeah. So
yeah, different people.
from different lives, and they just sit at the cinema, and they watch your film, and they're experiencing emotions, and they're interpreting it in their own ways, and it's really special. And it's when I turned around when the premiere was going on, I just saw this. It was an old man who was sitting there. He had his like hand like put like this, and he was just watching the film. He goes, and that made me emotional for some reason because it was crazy. I don't know. Aki is laughing, but for me, it was very
Yeah, I understand.
it was very emotional because especially because I'm young and I see someone else like looking at my
Some
film,
old
and it's
man.
yeah, exactly, and taking it in and analyzing it. It was very special.
How was it like, quote, arranging your movie to be screened at Mokata? Was it difficult? Was it easy?
No.
Was it
We had
scary?
a few options in mind, but we decided to go with Mukata and approach them, and we collaborated very well because I don't know, it fit the vibe of what we wanted. Not the vibe or concept of the movie, but the movie, the first idea was like meant for like our generation, for teenagers. And I think that's why you felt a little bit emotional when you saw the grandpa,
Exactly.
because the movie is not essentially meant for him specifically. But I don't know, Makata fit the vibe, everything. It was easy to organize, to collaborate, and yeah, it was also a pretty big theater, which is we didn't think that we would have the amount of reach we had because okay, we did one screening, we did a second screening after, and a lot of people came to that as well because a lot of people were interested, which
Yeah,
is
I know
really
a
good.
couple of friends called me and said, "Oh, I heard your friend did this. Like, I'm going to watch his movie."
Yeah.
And like, I didn't expect so many people I knew who don't know you directly to be so interested. When are the screenings happening? Is there more now? When can people watch if they want?
Well, for now, no, but we're planning a few more screenings. There's festivals approaching. We're gonna apply to various festivals. The
Wait,
movie
what
will
do you mean
can be seen.
festivals?
Festival, film
For film
festivals.
festivals.
It's a thing,
Yes,
yeah, right?
It's a
I
thing.
didn't know. Okay,
It's a thing.
actually, no, I've been to one, like in
Really?
Northwich.
Okay, Film Beach Festival.
Yes.
Did you like it?
It was okay. I'm not that much into movies. I don't watch.
Yeah, you don't watch movies.
It was fine. It was okay. It was interesting.
So yeah, we're gonna go to festivals. I don't know which ones, but we'll go.
I know.
Yeah,
Come.
Kanye, Oscar. And I don't know. We'll for sure organize a few more screenings because a lot of people afterwards, after the premiere happened, like a few days, they asked me, "Oh, when can we see the movie?" It's like you could have seen the movie. You will see it
But you chose
eventually
not
again.
to.
Yeah.
When you guys have the festival, come. I really want to watch it. I just couldn't that day.
Okay, so looking back, now that the screening is over and the whole process finished, is there anything that you wish you could have done differently?
I mean, obviously, I think it's for me, and I watched my film again yesterday, last night. And I love my films, and I think it's really important to love
Quality
the,
work.
exactly.
Believe.
It's really important to love the things you do, and and I definitely now from this perspective I see the things that I would have done differently. I would have approached differently maybe, but at the time like I didn't know better. But I'm really thinking about getting a notepad, just sitting in my living room, playing the film, discussing it with my dad, and going through all each like steps what I would have done differently. Right? So, but it's for us it was a learning curve. I think it was such an amazing experience. And I've personally learned a lot from it, even though I haven't like written it down yet. But
Can you share one example? What do you feel was the biggest thing you learned personally?
I mean, eventually for this film, I really wanted to shoot it documentary style, so it's almost like without planning the actual shots. Even though we we did the planning on the actual shooting, I just wished I was there. There was time like couple of weeks before shooting that I could have like went to the set and actually do the planning, because there are a couple of scenes where I'm not like the happiest how I've shot. That's just like subjective. Like I'm like now maybe I should have done that, but for next project definitely I would. I really would want to go into details and plan each shot.
Just have more time
Exactly.
for you.
Oof, what was the question?
Is there anything that you would have done differently, and the biggest kind of thing you've learned from your project?
I can't really think of it. But one thing that stood out to me that I learned from was that I can do it. I am very proud of myself, proud of us. Because as I said, I knew that I was going to do a film at some point. I just didn't think that it was going to be right now. And for me to be able to say that I was a part of a movie, and that I did a good job, and like as I said, friends, family, and colleagues like telling me that I did a great job is a very special thing to me.
In Macedonia, many of the high school students they're like scared to try things like this, like filmmaking, or singing, or for example, for us for the podcast, we were really scared in the beginning. We thought
Scared
we were
about
gonna
people getting judgmental, you know, not getting a lot of reach.
So like, what advice would you give to those people, and like, how did you guys find the courage to put yourself out there?
Oh, very good question.
Oh, thanks.
Very good question. The most important thing is to try. As I said before, during the when we were discussing the casting process, if you want to do something, you have to try, because you will never commit to anything or succeed if you don't try. It's not about luck; it's about willing to do it. So the most important thing is to really narrow it down what you really want to do, because you can't just say, "Oh, I want to be a singer," but you can't sing. You can maybe learn to sing, but maybe it's not the thing for you. You have to find what you're good at, what you're capable of doing, and execute it. It doesn't have to be perfect at first glance, at first try. I don't think. I mean, it worked out, but when, as he said, we could have done some things more differently, and it wasn't perfect. Nothing is perfect, but we tried. We succeeded to an extent. A lot of positive feedback, and yeah, the most important thing is to be willing to do it and to try and do it.
I mean, I think it's really about finding what you want to do actually, and finding the best way to express yourself. So, why should people watch your podcast? Because you're unique, right? You bring a.
I thought he was actually asking us.
No, the thing is, like, for me, I think it's. I mean, this is not the first podcast, right? There are millions of podcasts, but why should people watch it? Because you guys have found something in yourself to express it, right? It's it's really about, I think it's about finding what you want to do, and finding a way how to express it, because how to express yourself, I think. And with this film, I think I expressed myself through I think the way how I shot it, the way the story is made, and that can be scary, right? Because it's vulnerable, right? It's scary, but I think just going with it, that's much better than being scared,
I wanted to ask, how did you guys, because you're from very different schools and education, how did you manage your schoolwork and filming and everything? Because you said that it's a 4-day process.
And
It doesn't. Sorry.
You also mentioned that you would be exhausted at the end of the day, like
Yeah.
15-hour shift and whatever.
So even though it's not like a lot when you think about it as 4 days, the hours that you put into it, how did that work out with managing everything
Yeah,
else?
plus we do have to plan it beforehand.
Yeah.
When we shot the film, those days I didn't go to school. I mean, obviously. Personally, for me, it's not this school year is very challenging for me. Not just because it's my last year and maybe the workload is more intense in the schoolwork and everything, but had a few things outside of school that um, I was doing, the film being one of them. And when I was planning the year beforehand during summer, I mean, what I would do in November, December, whatever, I was thinking to myself that it's going to be very hard, but if I don't do it, I will regret it. And for now, I found a way to like manage a bit like schoolwork, some programs I'm doing, the film and everything. You need to have that skill to balance everything out. You need to do what you need to do and to do what you actually are interested in doing and want to do.
Yeah, and for me especially, we did a pre-production, we did the planning, we did the shooting. For me, I was working on commercial stuff, right? It's not just one project. I had a couple of other 3 projects. I think at that time I was working
What do you
commercially.
work?
We worked commercially. I had a couple of TV series that we were shooting parallelly while we were planning. A couple of commercials that we shot. I was just editing that. But you cannot. You have to put 100 into that too. So it was really exhausting for me, especially and with school. So yeah, it was almost like a hell. But it did. I managed through it, and it was very challenging. But it's really easy to get lost, right, in yourself, just lost in your work, and at some point you you kind of lose sense of yourself, and that's not good, obviously. So it's really about balancing all that, and this is something Yaki has told me. He likes to do like 1 hour off before he gets to sleep, just to
Another
his
piece
stuff.
of advice for me, whenever in the day, like 1 hour just for yourself, nobody else in your room, listening to music, watching a movie, a series, doing anything, not schoolwork,
Yeah,
just like anything. It's really good for your health.
it's really important.
Also, like, do you guys have future plans? Are you gonna like do another movie together, or do you have like individual projects? Let's hear it here first.
No. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
All that suspense for nothing.
No, we don't have anything specifically planned, but
We're gonna do something for sure.
yeah,
For sure.
it's gonna happen again.
Do you think
Stay
that-
tuned.
Do you think that you could have done like the movie with as much success if you didn't do it together? Like if you worked independently on this exact same movie?
No.
Are you gonna call us to be extras again or
Yes,
no?
of course.
Okay, but no crutches.
No
this
crutches.
time.
crutches this time.
Push-ups.
No
Push-ups. Pull-ups.
No.
That's
Never
easy.
dying, man. Never leaving.
Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much for coming. It was
Thank
so
you for having
interesting
us.
to
Thank
film
you for
with you
having us.
guys. And that's that. We'll see you next Sunday.
Bye bye.